Hey everybody, what's going on? So this is my first practice of the year at our skate pad at Castro Raceway. I just wanted to try something different out with my video format. I'm just gonna sit here and talk with you and watch the video to give you some commentary. Here's my very first run. Got the car sideways there on that first inner clip, and pretty smooth into the second inner clip. Pretty confident in that first run. And here comes the big long sweeper, giving lots of throttle here, coming around that last clip, or second last clip, and then got a little too squirrely there, but pretty clean run overall. And there's your exit to the track. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna sit here and talk with you guys. If you want to listen to me talk about my car, how I drift, and some of my style. So most of you know me in this car by now. It's an old BMW. It doesn't have much power. It seems to work all right. And we're just kind of pulling back into the pit lanes on our second lap. And this is usually how we do it. We do our run and just come right back into the lineup of cars. It's pretty early yet. There's not a lot of cars out there. So here's another run. So I have two cameras. So one is the dash cam that's always looking at me, and one is just a regular camera I turn on when I'm filming. That's the forward-facing one. It's very hard to sync them up, but sometimes I don't even bother. But during my video editing process, I take two separate pieces of footage and overlay them on each other and have to synchronize their audio, and it's a bit time-consuming. But so sometimes I'll, so this video was a nice run, but I forgot to actually turn on the forward-facing camera. And so just a full interior view. You kind of see how you gotta kind of let the wheel do its own thing. So you want to let go of the steering wheel. You know what I mean? When I enter into the drift and the car starts going sideways, you don't want to fight the steering wheel. You just let it do its thing, and then you can kind of grab it and make adjustments afterwards. Keeping your hands fairly still. That's an important thing I noticed, is keep your hands fairly still and loose. You don't need to be loose at the steering wheel. Quite an interesting process, to be honest. And then I'll talk about the throttle and actually the purpose of drifting here in the next video. We'll just coming around the pit lane again. Looking good. Car's looking pretty clean. It's working great. So here's just another forward-facing shot. And you can hear me throttle up. There's second gear, and then just power steer. Just give it lots of throttle. Your car will go sideways. And then that's when you kind of let the steering wheel do its thing, and you hear me control the drift with the throttle. So you hear the car throttle up, throttle down, throttle up. That's, once you get the car sideways, that's how I control maintaining it sideways. So for me, I initially give it a little bit of a power to get sideways, and then kind of ease off the throttle a little bit. And then once I need to continue that drift, that's when you start adding throttle in order to maintain it. So here's another weight transfer. So here we go, nice throttle, a little brap, little touches at a time. This is the bigger corner, so it requires a lot of power, so you just throttle through the whole thing, letting off the throttle to transition, nice and close to that clip, and some more throttle on the way out. So it takes a lot of practice. Nobody gets good right away. It takes time to understand your car and the concept of power oversteering, using the power to overcorrecting the steering. There we go. Nice throttle, ease off of that transition, and then power through out of the transition. Another big transition to lots of throttle, maintaining that big outer curve. And the purpose here is to try to stay close to the barrels. Your front end wants to be close to the barrels, is what we consider an inner clip. And that kind of guides the track. We do different layouts all the time, but this one was a really nice layout. So you come around the first clip, and then here in the second clip is the center clip. And then you transition into the big sweeper, nice big outer corner. And I kind of do a figure eight. You're going to come back around that second clip, see there in the middle. and come around that. It's kind of like a figure eight, very nice layout. And then there's your exit.
Fuck, I missed it. I hit the fucking button halfway through.
So yeah, I had a passenger on that round. Your only rules are pretty strict, so I had a good friend of mine ask for a ride, and obviously I asked the owner, and says yeah, so there was only one person in my vehicle. So this is a chase run. This is I didn't do a very good entry, but this is me chasing another car just like mine, a BMW. They're all right, but just happened to have a kind of a bad run. So I went around them slowly and safely, and then just continued my run. And yeah, back into the next run. So I get quite a few runs in the night. I didn't film all of them, and I didn't edit all of them, but I think there's something like 8 or 9. Oh, this is my favorite. So this is a good friend of mine. It's a nice car. So this is a really nice, clean, close chase run. I really like the chase runs. I like, you know, I don't want to be at these guys' door all the time. I don't want to be close to them, but I want to be far enough away where I'm having fun, mimicking their drifts, keeping it safe. Early in the season yet, so I don't want to do anything crazy too early. But nice clean chase run. We were pretty close. I believe this is my last run. This is a lead run, so that same guy is going to be chasing me. And I kind of messed up the run a little bit. I'll explain it in a second. I'm facing a different direction on the start, which is awkward. I think that's what really did it for me. So, yeah, here we go. The start line guys are ready to go. So a little weight transfer and into the drift. Powering through, just easing the throttle as I need to control that drift. Ease off the throttle, and I slowed and almost hit this barrel. So that caused him to slow up behind me, and I did a clutch kick. That's the only time I've ever done a clutch kick on that day. And then I ended up spinning out on the barrel, and this is kind of a bit of a victory burnout for him and I, just because that was our last run. Everybody's coming on track to get their very last lap, and here I am just pulling back into the pits, you know, taking my helmet off, getting ready, turning my cameras off, getting ready to hook the car up and drive on home.
That was it.
There you have it.
Thanks
for watching.
We're shutting it down a little early. Bravo. That was the last run. Well, they might let you go one more, but that's it. Yeah, might as well.